So when Jesus was preaching the Sermon on the Mount, the Beatitudes, there was one of them that came up that I think is really, really difficult. And it's, you've heard before to love your family and to hate your enemies. But I say love your family and also love your enemies. That is a really, really hard one to accept, right? I mean, and this is the way Jesus talked, right? To challenge us and kind of where we were with our heart. But man, when we are attacked, it is so difficult to live by those words. Agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really, really hard. Really hard to live by those
Yeah.
words. And we've all been attacked before, right? Family, friends. I would submit, people that you don't even know. But man, I think following Jesus, to be candid, it is one of the hardest things to do. People think it's easy, but Jesus was asked, how do we do God's work? And Jesus' response was, believe in His Son. Here's the question for you. So if you believe in Jesus, what does that really mean to you? If you believe in Jesus, what does it mean? And you call Him Lord, what does it mean?
I call it blind faith.
Yep.
That's what it means to me.
Mm-hmm.
Having a belief of something greater than yourself, that there's something bigger and better out there for not just me, but for everyone on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it means to me.
Yep. And I think it also means if you believe in somebody, what do? Say it.
Blind faith?
Yeah. You just do what He said, right? If you believe in somebody. You ever had a coach you believe in?
Yep.
Tells you what to do?
But
A
at
really
the
good
same
coach?
time, if you're talking like a coach, you can have statistics and records to look at.
Yeah.
It's not blind faith. It's charted faith.
Mm. So you think it's even harder to follow Jesus because of that?
No, I think it's even easier because we have an amazing book that shows us His path and
Yeah.
shows us His statistics and
Gotcha.
shows us His effort.
Gotcha. So when you have somebody like Jesus say, hey,
I'm saying it's blind faith to follow Him if you don't know about the Bible.
Yeah, okay.
It becomes tailored faith when you actually learn what's in the book.
So are you learning about it?
I try to.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not perfect at it. I fall short every day, but I try to. I mean, if you do remember, I did quote a Bible verse.
Yeah, you did.
That happened.
So let's get back to the first thing I asked you. Love your neighbors and love your enemies.
I try to love my enemies even more because they're the ones who need it. There's a reason they're my enemy. And it may not be because of something I've done, and it may not be because of something they've done. It may be because of misinformation.
Or maybe they got hurt themselves. Hurt people hurt people. You ever heard that one before?
That's a true story. Hurt people do hurt people. And it happens. And sometimes hurt manifests itself because unfortunately we have to realize that we have to look inward. That maybe the reason we're hurting is because we've done something wrong and we didn't even realize it. That we've stepped across a line or a boundary and we've hurt someone in a way that we didn't even know we did.
I've been there before.
I have too. And I've been the recipient and I've been the giver. I've been both.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when we do that, sometimes we want to hurt more. Because if we're hurting, everybody else should hurt too.
And I think getting back to that, even just that one verse, to love your enemies. Jesus said, if they smack you on one cheek, give them the other one and smack that one too, right? In so many words, He said that. And it's like, man, that is a tough way to actually live life, to be, I'll say that, humble. But the fact of the matter is, again, He was. I mean, we're coming up on Good Friday here, and we know we talked about how humble He was going to the cross. He lived it out. I mean, He lived out that give Him the other cheek, right? I mean, He didn't fight back. He was led like a lamb to slaughter. He took it, and He took it to give us eternal life. So, don't you think it's kind of the least that we can do is just like if we're hurt, to just accept it and forgive?
I always try to accept it and forgive. The old me wasn't like that though. And I think that's where my problem in lies. I don't know where your problems in lie, but I know that my problems in lie with the old me likes to come out every now and again.
Shoot. Heck yeah, me too.
And unfortunately, when the old me comes out, it's not pretty for anybody.
Well, the old me basically is the flesh, right? If you're living in the spirit, it talks about in Galatians, it's love, joy, peace, patience, long suffering, better defined as forgiving. All those are fruits of the Spirit. So when we're
Yep.
living in the Spirit, not in the flesh, that's kind of where true life is. And I think everything, a lot of things in the flesh they're just an illusion. You know what I mean? Like materialism, it's an illusion. It's all going to be great. There was a recent event here, and we got to pray for the guy. But Tiger Woods, here's a guy who has everything in life, right? Everything in life. You know where I'm going with this, right?
I'm waiting for it.
And here he is, on narcotics, drinking, whatever, flips a car. Now he's going into rehab. But here's a guy that you would think has quote unquote everything. There's one thing I do know about him: he didn't believe in Jesus.
He also did it how many years ago?
Same
Same scenario.
Yep, same thing.
And the funny part is that's just proof, people. Everybody thinks that money is everything. That man's one of the richest men on the planet. Come on, be realistic. Do you think that man needs money for anything?
No.
No.
No, he doesn't.
But he's spiritually bankrupt. Look at the
Man.
life he's living. He's living a life where he had a beautiful wife, beautiful children, and it wasn't enough. He wanted more. He wanted more. It's always something more. And that's the thing about addiction. Addiction doesn't care who you are, what your social status is, what your income is, what you do. It takes anyone, anywhere, anytime. And that's exactly the situation that man's in. And he is spiritually and emotionally bankrupt.
And again, I think it goes,
And that's my judgment call, clearly.
well, no, I've never. He doesn't believe in Jesus. I do know that, and I think when you're talking about addictions, when you're talking about materialism, when you're talking about those items, along with the many others, you're talking about
Greed,
self. It's greed.
sloth.
It's self. It's all tied to self.
Seven deadly
self.
sins are what?
Yeah. Keep going.
And that's what you're living.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what someone like that is living.
It's all about
His
self.
wife and kids weren't enough, so he went out and sought out multiple other women. His family wasn't good enough, so he did what he did. And now he's out drinking and drugging and doing what he's doing. And everybody goes, oh, well, it's just alcohol and narcotics. Doctors gave them to him, and you can buy the booze at the store.
Yep. It gets back to that verse in the Bible. I've been very focused on this, and it's, if you lose your life, you will find it. If you try and find your life, you're going to lose it. And I think finding your life means focus on self. Losing your life, I think, means getting outside of yourself, having compassion for others, serving other people, which, by the way, you're really good at that, especially on a whim. Which I love you.
I just got asked to another weekend.
Yeah. Right?
I did.
Yeah.
Just a couple days ago. You want to do it? I'm not going to say no.
Yeah, so going to serve a bunch, 70 guys on a weekend again. It's coming up.
Do it again.
And no sleep for 4 days. But what you glean from serving like that. Let's go back to that weekend where you only get 5 hours sleep and you're serving 70 guys. You walk off those weekends exhilarated because you've given of yourself for 4 straight days.
I
You know
love
what I mean?
it, dude. I'd never come off of one of those weekends going, wow, I wished I wouldn't have done that. There's never been one.
Yeah.
Even if it's just part of cleanup crew, setup crew, there's always something you find on those weekends.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it gets back to getting outside of yourself. So, we started out with Jesus saying, to love your enemies, a really hard thing to do. But in the end, it really comes back to, can you really get outside of yourself more on a consistent basis to serve other people?
Which I think is the biggest reason we started this.
Yeah.
That's what I feel is the biggest reason you and I started doing this whole thing right here, is trying to serve into others. This isn't for us. We don't gain anything by this. We're doing this just because we want people to be better. That's it. We're not perfect. We aren't saying we are. We're
Not
just
even close.
average dudes who like to talk about God and live a better life.
I think to your point, though, the more and more I kind of grow and accept that comment, more and more realize how imperfect I am. And here's the thing. I
agree with you wholeheartedly.
But I don't know if you went through this, but when I went through my darkest time 4 years ago, God showed me, oh, what about this, Rob? What you did here? What about this? It was almost like a cleansing. Like, you did this, you said this. Going back 30 years ago, you said this to this. I'm like, man, all these things came up, and it realized the grace that I needed from Him on a daily basis to live my life the way He wanted me to lead it. And we need it every single day because
and the grace you need to extend.
Yes.
Not just the grace he extends you, but the grace you need to start realizing you need to extend to others and yourself.
That's right.
Because you're not perfect.
Right, and nobody else is around you either.
No.
You know, and the other thing too, the people.
Hence, love thy enemy, right?
Well, exactly, and you know,
extend that grace.
and here's why too. Is sometimes we really can't kind of get caught up on pointing the finger at other people. Like, I can't believe they did that. I can't believe they said that. But you know what? The fact of the matter is, they've got the devil working on them too, right? And they've got the world working on them too, and they've got the flesh working on them too. They need to be prayed for, and it's not just about you as the offendee. The offender, they got stuff going on too, and you don't know what that.
You have
looks
no clue
like,
what's
right?
going on in their lives.
No, you don't know. And it's easy to get mad and say, point the finger. But man, I tell you what, when you start pointing the finger like this, you got three pointing right back at you, right? I got to work on me more than anything else.
The better I become, the better I can become for people.
That's right. And you know what? Every day, it's hard to do that every day. If you have a bad day, where you actually you weren't your best, that's where grace comes in more than anything else, because you can start all over the next day, and Jesus says, I accept you for who you are. Come as you are, and here I am. You know. So again, I'm gonna go back to that verse. When you find your life, you lose it. When you try and lose your life, that's where you're gonna find joy, peace, love, and contentment. Again, it's all about soul, mind, and body. This has been Finding Hope in a Suffering Society. I'm Rob.
I'm Josh.
And we're here to help you find the beauty
in the darkness.
And if you found that light,
please go show your glow to the rest of the world.
Finally got it right.
See you guys.